Hi, my name is Rich Kettner. Welcome to STARRY Guitars. I've been doing a series of videos on the 12-bar blues. This is the third now. First one I talked about the basic form of the 12-bar blues. Second one, I showed another version or a little more sophisticated chord voicings. And this one I'm going to talk about the way a jazz player might approach a 12-bar blues. So before we get into the lesson, I just want to ask you, if you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to my channel or like the video, or maybe tell a friend about this channel. So what I'm going to do is start with a basic 12-bar blues and then go through 6 different variations and slowly adding more stuff to it, making it a little more complex. So before I get into that, I want to give you an analogy of the blues. What we're going to see is jazz players are still playing the 12-bar blues. It's like they're using the blues as the basic structure, or like when someone builds the house. You frame the house first, right? All houses have a foundation and they're framed and have a roof, but the way it's finished off might be different. Well, I think about when I was a kid back in the 60s, and we'd be in elementary school coloring with crayons, or parents bought us a box of crayons. The basic box had like 6 colors or 5 colors. And then I remember for a birthday or Christmas, you might get the big deluxe box of crayons that had 3 or 4 rows. So instead of 1 red, there's like 4 shades or 5 shades of red, or 1 blue, there's 4 or 5 shades of blue. I think the way jazz musicians approach a 12-bar blues is a similar thing. Rather than just the 1, 4, 5 chord, jazz players like there to be more chords happening and more complex chords because it gives them more to play over. So my analogy was, rather than coloring with just 1 blue crayon, if I'm doing the sky, when I have that big box, you can do different shades and, you know, make it a little more realistic. So let me jump into this. First example, I'm just going to play the 12-bar blues, 1, 4, 5. And all of them I'm playing 9th chords rather than 7th chords. We're in the key of G. You go 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be 4 bars of the 1 chord. Here's the 5 chord. 1 chord. 5, 4, 1, 5. Okay, so that's pretty straight ahead. The first variety we're going to do is, let me back up. In that pattern, I played the 1 chord for 4 measures. What you might want to do is play the 1 chord, but right away go to the 4 chord in bar 2, and then return to the 1 chord. So it's 1, 4, 1, and then cycling through the pattern. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 chord, 1 chord. 4, 1, 5, 4, 1, 5, back to the top. Okay, the next pattern is introducing a 2-5-1. I'm going to play 1 bar of the 1 chord, Measure 2, 4 chord. Measure 3, 1 chord. Measure 4, I'm doing a 2-5 progression, but to C. So for C, the 2 is D minor, and the 5 is G. The rest of the progression stays the same. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 chord, 4, 1, 4 chord, 1 chord, 5, 4, 1, 5, 1. Now, moving on, the next one is when we get to bar 6, I'm going to be on the 4 chord, the C9, and then in measure 6, I'm going to go a half step higher to C sharp diminished. And everything else I played prior, we're going to keep 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 chord, 1 chord, 2, 5, 4, diminished, 5, 4, 1, 5, and top. The next one we're going to do is I'm going to, instead of doing a 2, 5, 1, this time I'm going to do a 3, 6, 2, 5. So, and it measures 8 and 9. So I'm in G. 3 is B minor. Now the form I'm playing may not be familiar to you. I also talk about this in another video where I mentioned 2 important life lessons where I met a random guitar player and they taught me a lesson that had a big impact on my playing. So instead of playing this form of the minor chord, you might be more familiar with, I'm barring 4, 3, 2, 1 with my ring finger, and mute the 5th string, and I play the root with my middle finger. So anyway, in G, B minor is the 3, 6, we're going to play E7, 2, A minor, 5, D7. And I might make it B minor, the E I might make E7, flat 9, sharp 9. That's called an altered chord where we alter the 5th scale degree or the 9th scale degree. A minor 7, D7 flat 9, or sharp 9, or flat 9, flat 5, sharp 9, sharp 5. There's like a bunch of variations, and then to 1. So, all the prior stuff, and then also adding 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 4, 1. And my 2, 5, 4, diminished, 1, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, 5. Right now I'm just going at the very end, 11, 12 is the 5 chord, back to 1. That's kind of boring. So very often the end of a progression will have what's called a turnaround, where if you're not playing the progression only once, you want to loop it. So what I'm going to do is 1, 6, which is going to be an E, and then again 2, 5, A minor, and D, or D7, okay? But I'm going to make all those dominant chords. 1, G7, E7, even though 2 should be an A minor, I'll make that an A7, and very possibly an altered D7, or D flat 9. So here's all that all thrown together. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's just one single example. there are countless variations to the blues. As I mentioned, taking a chord, a dominant chord, say D9, we can alter it by giving a sharp 9, flat 9, flat 5, sharp 5, flat 9, sharp 5, flat 5, flat 9, on and on. We can do that to all the dominant chords. So depending on who plays it, it could be different every time. So I'm going to play, to end this video, 2 or 3 choruses, and I'm going to try to change the chords I choose each time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, well, there you go. Just a couple examples, a couple of ways you can play the 12-bar blues. And hopefully you hear the difference from this one, video 3.0, from my very first video of the blues. And while this is much more sophisticated, a lot more complex, hopefully you can still hear the backbone, that 12-bar blues, the 1-4-5 chord is still in there. And I didn't show you all the chord forms that I use in here. That would take too long. But there are countless resources out there where you can find them. Several other videos on YouTube where I'm sure you can find some of those voicings. Or if you're interested, if there's something you'd like to go deeper with, please reach out to me and contact me. I give lessons as well, and I'd be happy to help you out if that's something that you're interested in. So until next time, keep making music, enjoy the journey, and God bless.